Hello everyone, welcome to SN Dev. And as of our previous video, we have built this Mistral AI chat application using SpringBoot AI, like Spring AI with Mistral AI LM. So this is a normal simple chat application. And in this video, we'll be showing you how to add a backend database and mainly MySQL Workbench for any SpringBoot GenAI application. All right. So before to add the database, let me just show you the application again. Okay, and if you haven't seen the video yet, just see the video so that you'll understand how we have built this application totally. Okay, so we have this hi and we got this response, how can I assist you today, I'm here to helpful, on this kind of thing. All right, now to add MySQL Workbench like MySQL database, we need to add some dependencies to our pom.xml file. Now what's that? If you come to our SpringBoot application, Spring AI application, you could see here we have this pom.xml file, and this consists all our dependencies. Here we have a version 17 of our Java. All right, we have our SpringBoot starter web that we have added at the time of creating this application from springstarter.io. okay, like from where you can initialize any Spring project. We also have a dependency of Spring AI starter model of Mistral AI. Okay, here we need to add two more dependencies. Okay, and the dependencies are this. Okay, so we need to add SpringBoot starter data JPA, and this data JPA would act as an ORM between your backend logic and your database. So it will help you to create those tables in your database, right? Like in generally what we used to use previously, that we used to use JDBC, but in JDBC we had to write each and every query for each and every like we have to write each and every query individually to happen in the database. But this ORM, this helps that by itself. Okay, so we need to add this SpringBoot starter data JPA, and as we are using MySQL database like MySQL Workbench, so we need to add a dependency for that MySQL as well. So we need to add this com.mysql group id with artifact id MySQL connector j. Okay, will be simple save all, and we need to do one thing. We need to come into this form.xml, need to do a right click and this maven and sync project. So this is what it, so this would just kind of install or kind of fetch all these dependencies to your application. Okay, right, so Spring is running now. Let me open my MySQL Workbench, and you can download this by seeing some YouTube video. It's pretty easy to install and to set up. Okay, I'll be giving my password. So, and in this dashboard, in this side, in the left sidebar, you could see we have our multiple schemas, and every schemas consist of this table. So right now the active schema is this only dev schema. Okay, so in this only dev schema I have this table, and this table, and under this table I have this multiple like multiple tables. Okay, all right, so I'll be creating a new schema over here. So I'll be creating so in this blank space I need to do a right click, create schema. I'll write Mistral AI. Okay, apply, finish, come here, I'll use Mistral AI, and this is to activate my cursor to this Mistral AI. Okay, now I'm under the Mistral AI, but you could see we don't have any tables because we haven't created any tables, and we'll be creating this table through our backend logic. Okay, So for that, let me minimize this. And so now let us create those backend tables. Okay, all right. So now as we have added our dependencies, so now we need to modify our this application.properties file. Here you could see we have only our application name and our Mistral AI API key. But as we have added two more dependencies as our Spring Data JPA and our what that call like our MySQL connector. So we need to add some more properties into here. Okay, so for that I'll do an enter. I'll do Control V. Here you could see I have added my data source, and this data source signifies my database resources, and this Hibernate signifies the ORM, and Hibernate are kind of ORM like object related mapping. So this helps you to create tables in your database automatically, like not automatically, you just need to create the model, and this Hibernate ORM will generate those tables into your database by itself. Okay, you can study more about this. It will be helpful for you to have some more knowledge about ORM and all about this Spring. Okay, so we have added Spring data source URL because my MySQL Workbench is hosted in this localhost 3306, and I need to change this name. So after the port name, I need to give my schema name. So as per this MySQL, my schema name is MistralAI, right? So I'll be giving this over here as in caps. So I'll be giving it in caps, okay, because caps and small letter doesn't really matter in this case, because you could give it small or caps at the time of the query, it will take it as a small or cap by itself. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. MistralAI, we have added our Spring data source driver class name com.mysql jdbc driver. My username is root and my password is this. Okay, but in your case it will be different, or it might be different, and most of the case password and username is like root for everyone. Okay, so it modify as per your requirement. And the Hibernate is this update and org.hibernate dialect MySQL dialect. You don't need to modify any of this. Then we have our Mistral AI API key. All right, now we'll save this. Okay, now after that we need to create our data model, like how we tend to store our responses, right? So for that, under this Java and this com.example.MistralAI, here we have the controller for our basic application where we don't have any database. But let me just create another package, another folder, another package. Here I'll be name this models, like my data models. So models. All right, and under this I need to create a class, new Java class, and I'm just right clicking. Okay, over this mouse I'm just right clicking and I'm doing this. Name will be, let's say, chat models. Okay, enter. Cancel. Okay, now here I need to define my data model. Okay, so the first thing that, and it would be same for any SpringBoot application while you'll be creating your backend model. First you need to add this as an entity, because in database this every table kind of works as an entity, right? And every entity has some attributes. So add that entity, then we have to add our table name. So table, you could see Jakarta persistence table. Okay, here I need to provide the name of my table. So name, I'll be naming it, let's say, Mistral AI. Okay, all right. Now it's all about how I'll be defining my table, right? So I'll be needing one ID, which is pretty general. So private, let's say long. I'll be taking it as long. You can take it as an integer as well. So private long ID, and I'll be needing my user message, right? And I'll be taking the data type as string. So private string user message. Okay, it would be, the S would be in caps, java.lang. Okay, just cut it. Okay, so I'll be needing private string for bot response. So user message and bot response. All right, then I might also store the local date time, like when this conversation is taking place. So for this, my data type would be local date time. So local date time with timestamp. All right, so these four would be my table attribute, like my table column name. Okay, now after that I need to modify some more part. As now, first for the ID, as you all know that ID in my database should be automatic, like IT should, because user only providing is ID, right? So this ID generation should occur automatically, right? So for that we need to mark this as @ ID from Jakarta persistence, and also we need to give it this generated value, where strategy would be my generation type identity, because each and every ID will uniquely identify my tuple, my rows. So generation type dot identity. Okay, now for my user message, so this will be a column, so I need to @ this column. So column Jakarta persistence, and I need to add this column definition, and this would be a text value, right? And same for my bot response, column definition would be a text. Okay, all right, now my all attributes are done. Now, as you all know, we has to create our default constructor, right? So I'll be doing that. So public chat models default constructor. Here I just need to provide this local date time. So timestamp would be my local date time dot at the present. Okay, all right, now after that again I need to create another constructor, and this would be a parametric constructor, and here I'll be passing some parameters of my user message and my bot message. Okay, so again public chat models, here I need to provide my parametric constructor, so string with user message and string with bot response. Okay, and here I'll be initializing my each and every column. So this dot user message would be user message, this dot bot response should be bot response this dot timestamp would be local date time dot now, right? So after initializing my default constructor and my parametric constructor, my next step would be to initializing my getters and my setters. Now you can do all these getters and setters by yourself, or IntelliJ have a good option. You can do a right click and you can come into this generate section, and here you will be seeing we have getter setter. So I'll be generating getter and setter together. So getter setter, I'll just copy everyone. So long, so my ID, user message, bot response and timestamp, I'll select everything and I'll just click on this OK. And here you could see it has been generated my getter and my setter for my ID, for my user message, get user message, set user message, get bot response, set bot response, get timestamp, set timestamp. All right. So after that, I'll simply save this file, save all, and I'll rerun my application over here. Okay, stop and rerun. And we should see some table in my MySQL Workbench schema. Okay, first let us run it again. Alright, so now I'll come to my MySQL Workbench. I'll do a refresh, and here you could see we have our table MistralAI. Okay, which consists of these columns. So let us see this. So to see this and to get into this particular table, you need to first click on this table name MistralAI, click on right click and just click on this select rows, and you'd get into this MistralAI table. Okay, and you could find that we have this ID, bot response, timestamp and user message. All right, so now we'll be creating our repository, services and controller to create the API to store those messages into my database. Okay. All right, so now that we have built our database table in our database using these chat models, now we'll be building our repository, our services and our controller. Now this is the standard architecture that has been called MVC plus service layer architecture in SpringBoot backend. That is pretty important in today's full stack development world. Okay, and you might go study about it more. I won't be explaining in details, but I'll be showing you the process of all. Okay, so we have created the models. Now after that we'll be creating 3 more packages. Okay, so the first package would be as repository, and this particular layer would interact. So wait, let me first create, then I'll explain. Okay, so now we'll be creating our services. Last, of course, controller, right? Now first will be like, after creating the model, our first step would be to create a repository, and this repository kind of helps us to interact with our CRUD operations in our APIs, right? Because generally we create lots of REST APIs for multiple CRUD operations, and this repository is the kind of an interface. So we'll be choosing it as an interface. Okay, and so that it can interact with lots of CRUD operations. Okay, and I'll be naming it as chat model repository. All right, now we have cancel. Public interface chat model repository. Now I need to extend this to my JPA repository. Okay, JPA repository, here we go. And then under this I'll be using my chat model. So my chat models, and the ID would be long, right? So long. All right, so this is the interface. This is how I'll be my application would be interacting with my CRUD operations or all my APIs. Okay, I'll save it. Chat model repositories. Is there any error? I don't think so. All right, so after that we'll be creating a service. So in services we'll be creating chat model services, which will be a class. Okay, chat model service. Cancel. All right, and here and in this services layer, in this chat model service, I need to define my business logic or my main backend logic. Like I want to save each and every messages. I want to display each and every conversation while I'll be using that get method. Like whatever your main business logic will be, that would be in this service layer. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, I need to use this service annotation. Service. Okay, now after that, and here as I said earlier, key my repository interacts with my CRUD operations or my business logic. So I need to call my repository over here. So private my chat model repository, it is over here. I'll be taking a source format name. So let's say chat model repository. Okay, now I'll be creating those logics, and before that I need to define a parametric constructor for it, which will be public. So public chat model service parametric constructor. So I need to pass this parameter chat model repository and chat model repository. Okay, then simple this dot chat model repository would be chat model repository. I think there is an error. Chat model repository. Wait. Private field can be converted to a local variable. Field may be final. Alright, I need to use this final keyword as well. Final. Yes. Okay. Now my two business logic for this application would be to save my message and to get my all message, right? So public chat models. What is my chat models? Where is my chat models? Let's say the name is save messages. Here I'll pass my chat models message. All right, chat models save messages, chat models message. What I need to return? I need to return my chat model repository dot, I'll save my all messages, save message. Okay, now another one is to get all message, if to check all the conversations. So public, and when you are fetching a lots of data, it will be a format of a list, right? So for that I'll be using the data type list. Under this I'll be providing my chat models, and let's say the name is get all messages. All right, and then under it here I need to simply return chat model repository dot, and the key and the function will be find all, as I need to retrieve all the messages, so find all. Okay. All right, now I'll just simply come here and just use this save all. It's showing an error. Okay, if there is any error, will be taking care of that while it's be giving me any error at the time of my running the application again. Okay, so after services, our next step would be to define our controller, and this controller kind of handles all your HTTP requests, because here you have your API path. So Java class, let me give my chat controller. So here I'll be having my chat controller. So for that, I'll be naming it chat controller. All right, again cancel. Now as we'll be creating some REST APIs, so I need to use this annotation for REST controller, and also for request mapping. Here I need to give the API path, so let's say /API /Mistral. Okay, I have another controller over here. So what is the API path for that? It was simple Mistral AI, so I need to change this name. So let's say Mistral-AI. Okay, and as we have seen in our previous video, that we need to enable our cross origin, as my backend is in 8080 port and my front end is in 3004. So I need to enable cross origin. Not sure. Cross origin for a star. It will enable all the cross origin work. All right, now as per the previous work, first of all, private final Mistral chat model. So Mistral AI chat model, what is that? Mistral AI chat model, short name, let's say chat model. Okay, then we have private, again final chat model, my service. So my service, short form chat service, let's say. All right, pretty good. Now a parametric constructor. So chat controller, I need to pass Mistral AI chat model with chat model, then chat model service with chat service. Okay, variable chat model might not have been initialized. Okay, so for that I need to initialize that. So this dot chat model would be my chat model. One error is gone. Chat service would be chat service, second one gone. All right, now we need to create our controller. So public, here I'll be using response entity, as my response will be in the frame as a format of a string but with a long string, right? So I'll be using response entity. So response entity over here, entity. Okay, then as my response will be in the format of string, so string, then this one is for my get answer. So it will be get answer, and I need to pass the path variable. So path variable of string message. Okay, an error. Right. Chat service path variable get answer string message cannot resolve symbol message response entity. Okay, so first let us give it some annotation. So get mapping of all right, get message, get mapping slash get message, get answer, public so string response should be my chat model dot. Now the function, as I said my previous video, the function, it's call function. Here you need to pass the message of the user. Right, done. And okay, let me first see the error. Variable chat model might have been initialized, chat service might not have been initialized, expected. All right, 22. Here we expect what? In line number 22, it is expecting something. Public response entity identifier expect annotation are not allowed here. All right. Okay. Oh shit. Sorry. Okay, for this one I have to close this, and this stands for this, so I don't need this curly brace. Okay. All right. So now there is no error. Okay, which one is for this? For public. Just text it down. This one is completing this curly bracket. We have this curly brace which is finishing with this, and we have this one with this. So string response chat model. Acha, we have to finish with its return statement, right? So after that, okay, so we are calling our LLM here using this string response chat model dot call. Now we need to save both user message and my bot message. So for that I'll be calling my chat models here. I'll be creating a new object, chat models. Here I'll pass simply my message and my response. Simple. All right, then again I'll be using my chat service dot save message, the services we have created, then chat models. Simple. Then return the response entity dot okay with response. All right. Okay, so we have to clear the whole code, then we don't have that error. Okay. Now the another one we left is that get chat history function, like where we'll be getting all my conversations. Again, for that we'll be creating a controller, public response entity. I'll pass a list of chat models. So list of my chat models, and the name would be get chat history. Get chat, not history. history, and it will be an empty. Then I'll simply need to return with response entity dot okay dot my chat service dot get all message. Alright, now it's done. I can save it all, and I'll be okay. What is saying? Class chat controller is never used, because it will be used now. I'll be stop and rerun. We hope there is nothing error. Alright, so now let's test it with Postman. It's always a good practice to test your API before adding it to your front end. Here in my MistralAI, my port is this MistralAI hello. Okay, I'll write send. Alright, so here we go. We have our response. Hello, I am here to assist you. How can I help you today? All this kind of thing. What you like to do? Now let's get to our MySQL Workbench and we'll run this query again. And here you could see ID 1. It has been generated automatically. Bot response. Hello, I am there to here to assist you. Timestamp is around 7 p.m. Okay, and user message, of course, hello. Now we'll be adding it, right? And this was the same code as per my previous front end. We haven't changed anything. We'll be just changing its API name, API endpoint to Mistral-AI. We'll do a control save. Okay, and let it upgrade, right? Alright, so let's try it over here. So again, hi, send. Alright, so hello, it's great to interact with you. How can I assist you today? All those things. Alright, so let's sit into the database, select. I had tried 2 more options. What is SpringBoot, hi, all those things. Okay, and I actually gave it a prompt, what is SpringBoot, but it is kind of taking too much time. Alright, so its response came after my this recent response. Okay, so that's the thing, because MistralAI is not that much powerful as your GPT. Alright, so that should be the issue that you might face. Otherwise it is absolutely working fine. Okay, so yeah, that was for this video, and I'll be giving all this code to my GitHub. You can use it, and don't forget to change your application.properties configuration as per your database schema, as per your password and your username. Yeah, and that being said, we'll be finishing this video here, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.